My parents said, "Emma's got kids so she needs your house more. Hand it over." When I refused, Mom leaned in with a chilling whisper, "Then we'll make you regret it." The next morning my bank called saying someone tried to tamper with my mortgage and I knew it was them. I always knew they favored Emma, but I never imagined they'd stoop this low. It all started when I fought to make that house mine. I've poured my soul into my little house. 3 bedrooms, a patchy backyard, my sanctuary after years of scraping by. Every nail in the walls, every weed I yanked out, it's mine. I worked 2 jobs, skipped dinners, and watched friends jet off on vacations while I saved pennies in a jar. My parents, they didn't care. When I signed the papers 3 years ago, my parents grunted houses are a hassle and Mom asked if I'd paint the spare room for their visits. That was it. No pride, no help, just indifference. I didn't expect much. They've always loved Emma more. The golden daughter who could do no wrong. But last week, they crossed the line I never saw coming. We were at their dining table. The clink of forks on plates filling the silence. My father wiped his mouth, leaned back and said, "Emma's got kids so she needs your house more. Hand it over." My fork froze midair, mashed potatoes dangling. I blinked waiting for the punchline. Emma smirked across the table, her husband Dan nodding like it was the most obvious thing in the world. My house? The one I built from nothing? For them? No, I said, voice trembling, heat rising in my chest. That's insane. My father shrugged like I'd refused to pass the salt. But Mom, she leaned in close, her perfume sharp, her eyes glinting like a predator's. "Then we'll make you regret it," she whispered, low enough that only I heard. A smile curled her lips, cold and deliberate. I drove home in a daze, her words looping in my head. Regret it? What did that even mean? I locked my doors that night, double-checked the windows, but sleep wouldn't come. Fear gnawed at me. Fear of what they'd do, of how far they'd go. Anger simmered too, hot and bitter. They'd never seen me as their child, just a means to an end. And dread, heavy as a stone, settled in my gut. I've known they favor Emma, her cars, her schools, her messes they always cleaned up, but this was war declared over a plate of pot roast. My sanctuary, my peace, they wanted to rip it away. I wouldn't let them. The morning after that dinner I woke to my phone buzzing on the nightstand. My heart was still heavy from Mom's threat, but I figured it was just a spam call. It wasn't. The voice on the other end was crisp, professional, a woman from my bank. "We need to verify some activity on your mortgage account." She said, "There's a request to transfer ownership, but the paperwork's off." My stomach dropped. I bolted upright, sheets tangling around my legs. "What request? I didn't submit anything." She paused, then lowered her voice. "Someone did. Can you come in?" I was out the door in 10 minutes, my pulse hammering. At the bank, the air felt thick, suffocating. The manager slid a stack of papers across the desk. My mortgage details, my address, my name, but the signature, it wasn't mine. The loops were too sharp, the slant too perfect. Someone had faked it. My hand shook as I flipped through the forms. There, buried in the fine print was the kicker. They tried to shift the title to Emma's name. I stared at the page until the words blurred, my breath shallow. They weren't bluffing last night. They'd already started moving against me. I drove straight to a coffee shop, couldn't face my house yet, and called Mom. My fingers fumbled with the phone, rage bubbling up. She picked up on the 3rd ring, her voice syrupy sweet. "Morning, honey. Sleep well?" I didn't waste time. "You tried to steal my house, forged my damn signature." Silence, then a soft laugh like I'd told a cute joke. "Oh, don't be so dramatic," she said. "You're too selfish to understand what family means. Emma needs this." I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles whitened. "Selfish? I worked for that house. You didn't lift a finger." She sighed, impatient. "We're just doing what's best." I hung up before I could scream. Back home, I paced the living room. The walls I'd painted staring back at me. Betrayal sank its claws in deep. This wasn't just favoritism anymore. They'd forged legal documents, crossed lines I didn't think they'd dare. My own parents saw me as nothing, a tool to prop up Emma, their real child. Rage burned hotter with every step. I wanted to smash something, anything, but fear slithered in too, cold and quiet. If they'd gone this far in one night, what was next? That whisper from Mom, "We'll make you regret it," echoed louder now. A promise I couldn't ignore. I sank onto the couch, staring at the ceiling. Emma's smug face at dinner flashed in my mind. Did she know? Did she sign off on this? Growing up, she got the new bikes, the second chances, while I patched my shoes with duct tape. I'd accepted it, built my life anyway, but this was different. This was my home, my blood and sweat, and they thought they could snatch it like it was nothing. My chest tightened, a mix of fury and something sharper, hurt. Maybe I'd never been enough for them, and now they'd proven it. I grabbed my laptop and searched for a lawyer, fingers flying over the keys. No more waiting. No more hoping they'd back off. If they wanted a fight, they'd get one. I found a guy downtown. Sharp reviews. No nonsense vibe, and booked a meeting for the next day. As I hit confirm, a strange calm settled over me. The trust I'd clung to, that thin thread tying me to them, snapped. They weren't my family, not anymore. They were enemies, and I'd treat them like it. That night, I double-checked the locks again. The deadbolt clicking into place with a finality that matched my mood. Sleep still didn't come easy. Every creak of the house made me flinch. Every shadow felt like a threat. But beneath the fear, something new was growing. Resolve. They'd drawn first blood, but I wouldn't go down without swinging. My house, my life, they weren't taking it. Not yet. A week after the bank fiasco, I was still on edge, jumping at every noise. I'd met with the lawyer, Tom, a gruff guy with a handshake like steel, and he'd started digging into the forgery. Solid case, he'd said, but it didn't ease the knot in my chest. I was cooking dinner that night, the smell of garlic filling the kitchen, when a sharp crack split the air. My spatula clattered to the floor. I ran to the window. Orange light flickered outside, unnatural and angry. Smoke stung my eyes as I threw open the back door. My garage was burning. Flames licked the wooden frame, swallowing the roof I'd patched last summer. I stumbled outside, phone shaking in my hand as I dialed 911. Fire. My garage. It's on fire. The operator's calm voice barely cut through my panic. Sirens wailed in the distance, but I couldn't move, rooted there as the blaze devoured everything. My car gone.